Welcome back to another recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 4 with this week's episode 8. Before I get into this recap, caution. At the end of this video, I will probably be gathering Monica's mother all the way together. Okay? So, a little disclaimer just right ahead before we start off this recap. All in all, I must say, I really enjoyed this episode. It was very juicy, very dramatic, but also very fun and lightweight with the group scenes together, the little cross-country skiing, Jack's party, the dinners. I love the drama with, as I already said, Monica's mom and Monica, Whitney and Mary, and so on and so forth. So let us get right into it. We kick off the episode with Whitney and Justin at home discussing Bobby's 13th birthday party and how Justin will be missing this one because he has work obligations. Whitney's like, well, kind of didn't communicate that clearly. Justin's like, well, yes, I did. The relationship between these two is still, I see, kind of tense, but I think it's not as bad as the cameras make it out to be, in my opinion. Whitney tells Justin that she'll go on a little dinner date with Mary Cosby together because she feels like she still needs closure from that part of her life when all hell broke loose with Mary. She's come up in meditation, she's come up in thoughts, in therapy. Whitney is really obsessed with Mary Cosby and is begging for that friendship. So it seems. Mary is definitely not here for Miss Whitney. She tells Whitney, if I don't feel like it, I won't show up. I was like, well, damn, that is definitely a way to accept a dinner. But yeah, that's it for the scene between Whitney and Justin. Next up, we have Monica and Heather meeting up for a little snow skiing moment. They get on their little snow jets and just jet around along the hills of Utah. That looked so fun, by the way. After that, they both sit down and kind of Monica right then and there starts to spill the tea about her mother. She actually reveals how her mom left her at the neighbors when she was 12 years old to go ahead to New York to pursue a job or whatever. Heather is reassuring her that she understands because she has a similar relationship to her mother now, because when Heather divorced her ex-husband, they kind of grew apart. She couldn't really get on to defending her own daughter, so that's why Heather is not that cool with her mom anymore, which is sad in my opinion. That is just so vile and cruel, putting religion above your child like that just because your kid got out of a bad situation. In this situation, it's Heather's ex-husband, Heather's marriage. How can you do something like that as a parent? I ask that myself all the time when I hear people of, religious families growing apart because of stupid things like this. But anyways, Heather reassures Monica that she's building a new village. She's not alone in this. She's here to definitely stick behind Monica, and the two have a little cute bonding moment. This next scene really touched my heart so deeply. John and Jack are discussing Jack's mission. They are reminiscing in old photos of John's mission back in 1993 when he actually, I think, even met Lisa, because without the mission, he would have never met her. Lisa was actually meant to be his roommate's date, but the rest was history from there. And one thing about John Barlow, this man is so fine. The finest man in all of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City housewives, along with Angie K's husband. Just a little fun fact. on the side, okay? John Barlow, you are handsome, you are sweet, you are respectful. A catch. Lisa had some good luck. So they're talking about the mission. John gets super emotional. He says he's super proud of Jack, that he's going on this journey, but not really in a Mormon type of way, more in like a progression type of way. Lisa joins in the conversation. The three of them all look at older pictures, at like these antiques that John had stacked up in a little book, in a little photo book. Lisa, as always, obnoxiously hijacks the conversation. I mean, you gotta love Lisa Barlow and her really gripping every single moment to herself, because the girl cannot take a breath and let somebody else have it. Like, goddamn, Lisa, like, it's about your son. She even in her confessional said, well, it's Jack's world right now. I don't get why he has frosted tips. Why are we reliving the 90s? What do you want at your call reveal party? Just liquid death and just a charcuterie? That's boring, okay? I die. I love Lisa Barlow, but still, if Lisa Barlow is listening to this, let me give you a little teensy tiny bit of advice. Let your son live through his experiences. Let him make his own what's it called? Memories. He needs to grow up. He needs to make mistakes. He needs to see other things. He needs to really grab this mission onto his own and experience it the way he wants to experience it, not the way you want to experience it, okay? Obviously, in the way that she does partially hijack these conversations about her son, I see the sense and I get that she wants to control it, because that is her way of showing love, because she wants to micromanage the situation in a way that it is most comfortable for Jack. I totally get that. Many people do that, including myself. I like to micromanage every single little detail about, my personal circumstances, but I even had to learn to let some things go and have them have their own natural flow and course. So Jack seems really excited about this. He's prepping up. They still don't know where he's going to go. So this party's coming up. Lisa's planning it all, obviously. And yeah, I thought the scene was really, really cute. So in this next scene, we have Monica, Whitney, Meredith, and Heather all meeting up to do a little cross-country skiing. They're having a great time. That looked fun, but exhausting, to be honest. I never thought that cross-country skiing would be so challenging. I always thought it's kind of the easier version of snowboarding and skiing. But anyways, that's besides the point. We see all of the ladies grabbing some nice little stools from their car. They have this charcuterie to go. They make themselves a nice little hangout, chill place in the parking lot. They sit down and begin to chat. So they all talk about Monica's new car, which is a rental because her mother took away the car from her because she was threatened that Linda would call the police on Monica if she did not return the keys to her, because the car is in Linda's name and Monica actually makes the payments. It just goes towards the credit of Linda. I was shocked when I heard this, and I will get to as to why. Everybody is, they are shocked, to say the least. Take a shot every time I say shocked. They are not really getting why the relationship between the two of them is that way. And Monica gets into it that this is a type of control that she likes to exude when she does not get her own way. This all talking about her mother. Heather's like, well, me and my mother don't talk. And then Whitney's like, well, me and my mother also do not talk, Heather, because when I left the church and yada, yada, yada. Meredith's like, well, I have a great relationship with my mother. I don't know what any of y'all are saying, so back up. And then Whitney has some concern for Meredith after this talk about Monica. She's like, it's Bobby's birthday. I want everybody of you there. Bring your families, bring your loved ones. And Angie's gonna be there. And Meredith, I have to have this awkward conversation with you. And Meredith was trying so hard not to go off on Whitney. I can definitely sense that Meredith is trying to do her best to not pop off when Angie K's name is mentioned. So that's definitely interesting to see. She's like, well, you know, with this whole thing with you and Angie, I don't want you and her to kind of get into it. I don't want you to have this plethora of information that could ruin her life. I see this behavior in you, this pattern that you exhibited last year with Jen, then Angie, then Lisa. This is kind of what you do. And then the conversation gets flipped, and she's like, well, I would never, yada, yada, yada. I don't even wish bad anything to Angie or Angie's family. But what I want to check you on really quickly, I was like, okay, when I had my near fatal accident and you drove past it, you waited 48 hours to message me. And did you guys catch how production kind of made fun of Meredith's accident last episode? In this episode, I thought it is a bit rude because, I mean, in those snowstorms, I myself live somewhere where we have snow about 5 to 6 months a year. I live in the deepest pits of the Black Forest in Germany, in the south of Germany, and when it's snowy here, it is scary. I myself had as well a very icy car accident which likely I survived. Nothing bad really happened. I just totally crashed my car. It is definitely no joke. It is scary, especially when you're near a cliff. So Whitney's like, is she using this for a storyline to get off of the fact that, you know, she had this thing with Angie? And I was like, Whitney, did you use being, what was it last season? I don't even really remember. You had like abuse as a child and you would not, for the love of God, get into what really happened. And you used that as a whole storyline throughout the whole season. Meredith's done that for 2 episodes. And you're out here comparing that to Angie? Are you insane? Anyways, Meredith's like, I do not wish any ill will to anyone. Whitney's like, thank you. They'll all come to Bobby's birthday party. And that's it for the little cross-country skiing get-together. So we then move to Angie K's segment. She is having her dad over. They're cooking a little something together for lunch and just chit-chatting it up. And one thing about Angie K's dad, he is so cute. I mean, you can just tell he is a true Greek gentleman. 86 years old, by the way. That man looks so good for his age. I would have thought he's like mid to late 60s. Never almost 90. I mean, bless him. He definitely looks very, very good. Anyways, Angie's expressing the, love that she has for her dad, him being a single father, raising 7 children in a country where he doesn't really know the language, never really had the money, or tried his best. And one thing about Miss Angie, she will let you know that she is Greek, honey, okay? She will bring it up in every scene. But me personally, I do not have any, concerns with that. I really like that she did stay true to her roots. She even mentioned herself. Her parents tried to raise them the American way, but they still were Greek through and through. They ate lamb. They did all the Greek dancing, all the traditions, all the typical stuff. And I think that is important to really not forget where you come from. And I honestly can relate to that very well. Me, myself, being born and raised here in Germany, but having Sicilian roots, I think it is important to take a little bit of your culture with you into your, birthplace, your home. So anyways, Angie's asking her father, like, how did you balance, all the things with mom? Did you guys go on any dates? Because, we've put Electra since her birth on number one, and not knowing, well, now 2 years went by without us going on a date night. And MJ's father was looking at her a little weird, like, girl, we didn't have any money like that, so... And we also had too many kids. And I truly feel that Angie, when her mother passed away, I think she kind of became the matriarch a little bit for her siblings. And I wonder, will we ever see Angie K's siblings on screen? Because, she has 6 siblings. So I'm curious to see with whom she gets along the best, how they interact. And honestly, I'm here for the Greek vibes. I want to hear and listen to them speak Greek a little bit more. Then Sean comes along. He's like, hey, I'm going to take a quick shower. Going to join you guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it with Miss Angie for this episode. Next up, we have Mary and Whitney meeting up for dinner after a very long time to hash things out, but that whole thing was a flop. They definitely could have done that over the phone. Mary was definitely not here for Whitney. Actually, things started out pretty good. They got into some lightweight, superficial kikis, good conversation, but it definitely took a turn really quickly as soon as Whitney decided to address some things. She was like, I'm very sorry what I said about you. I'm very sorry with the whole thing that I said about you and your husband. It's awful. Mary's like, you severed our relationship. Then Whitney wants to counter address the things that Mary said to her in the text messages about her needing plastic surgery and that she looks older than Mary and stuff. And Mary's like, don't you dare compare that. You called me and my husband predators, yada, yada, yada. Then the waitress spills a little bit of food on Mary, and then that's where the whole night was definitely over for her. She actually packed up all of her food, left Whitney at the table. She was like, wake up, bubblehead, and grow up, little girl. And Whitney was left there in the dust. She was like, watch me leave, Whitney. And Whitney's like, well, that's not nice, Mary, and you don't want to leave this like this, come on. But she was talking to a brick wall. I definitely think no other trials for this messed up relationship should be started. I think these two will just not get along. Next up, we have Miss Lisa Barlow and her mission reveal call party, whatever, for Jack. They invited a bunch of people over. She has a cake done for him. Jack has a speech. He's thanking everybody for coming. He shares his excitement for his mission. He opens a letter, reads out to everybody that he's actually going to Bogota, Colombia, which is the capital city, actually, of Colombia in South America. Lisa's like, I'm so excited for Jack to be going on a mission, even though he will probably be held at gunpoint once or twice. I was like, what? Lisa, how in your right mind can you say that? Do not dare put that out in the universe on your son like that. Girl, you are out of your mind. She was like, my neighbor's son went on a mission and he was held at gunpoint like once a week. But then he had a bunch of cash with him, and as soon as he saw the gun whilst opening the door, he was like, okay, I will give you some cash. I love doing Lisa Barlow's voice. It brings me such calmness to my soul. And I really do hope for Jack that right now in Colombia he won't be held at gunpoint at any point in his mission. So keep Mr. Jack Barlow in your prayers, please. And yeah, that's it for the almost last two scenes in this episode. Next up, we will move on to Miss Monica and Miss Linda. And I'm going to, once again, disclaimer, things can get a little loud over here. I will probably be yelling quietly into this microphone because